Have you ever thought about what kind of music you're really listening to? Like, have you ever really paid attention to the lyrics? Because let me tell you, it's not just innocent songs about love and heartbreak anymore. It's some dark, sinister stuff. You turn on the radio or open up your music app and bam, you're hit with messages promoting Satanism, speaking against religion, greed, excessive wealth, lust, and even subliminal messaging that's been hidden in the music. And before you dismiss what I'm saying, take a moment to understand what Satanism actually is. It is the worship of self above God. It is putting your carnal desires and infatuation with yourself above the Creator himself. This is what's being promoted to us on a daily basis. The entrapments and entanglements of the world dangled before us like a carrot. This stuff is shaping our culture, pushing the boundaries more and more about what's acceptable behavior, blurring the lines between morality and degeneracy, and we're all caught in the crossfire. Consuming today's entertainment is like playing Russian roulette with your soul and sanity. After so many rounds, one's going to be blown to pieces. It's spiritual warfare. It's like a secret attack on your mind, trying to make you believe and do things that go against your beliefs as a Christian. It's crazy to think about, but it's happening. And it's happening more often than we realize. The recent Grammy Awards have only added fuel to the fire. Almost everyone has taken notice that a number of the performances and songs were filled with dark and demonic themes. In the days leading up to the ceremony, Madonna was seen pulling yet another one of her tired sacrilegious stunts, desecrating sacred Catholic images. We never see this kind of mockery with other religions. And this isn't the first time artists have pushed the line of the demonic to cast a spell over their audience in the name of fame, sales, and art. You've got to be completely blind or deaf if you don't see what's going on here. As someone who loves to work out, I recently found myself in a dire coin toss. When I work out, I've got to throw weights around to a soundtrack that keeps me focused and motivates me throughout the session. My workout playlist typically contains some of the top music from today's hottest artists, but that all changed one day. I was just starting off my workout after beginning a day with my ritual morning prayer, and as I hit play, ready to pound the treadmill, my ears were assaulted with the most vile lyrics I could ever listen to. And it's funny because these weren't songs I hadn't heard before, but this time I listened to what was streaming into my ears and consciousness. The only way I could describe it was audio pornography. It was from that day forth that I stopped listening to secular music and almost exclusively work out to Christian pop, rock, R&B, rap, and hip hop. Songs that I can jam to that move my body and feed my soul. As we know, music has a powerful influence on us. It can shape our beliefs and values and even impact our actions. That's why it's so important for us to be vigilant in what we listen to and ensure that it aligns with our values and beliefs. So why are demonic influences in music particularly dangerous for us as Christians? The answer is very simple. By exposing ourselves to this constant subconscious barrage of negative programming, we open ourselves to being influenced by them and compromising our spiritual core. As Christians, it's crucial that we maintain our spiritual integrity and protect ourselves from the constant temptation to give into self-destruction by solely acting from our carnal nature. This not only benefits us personally, but it has an impact on everything and everyone around us. But here's the truth. The greater majority of today's society doesn't see the world like this. In fact, they sooner call you and I holy rolling, uptight lunatics for having these real concerns and real convictions. Look, we're simply too far gone to think the industry will regulate itself. Instead, we must take a stand for our beliefs and take action to protect our spiritual core ourselves. And if you have a family, it's your responsibility to impart this on your children too, because they are truly the ones under the worst attack right now. But how do we do this? Well, here's what I've personally done to clean up the music I consume and encourage you to take the same steps. Before we get into this, do me a favor and smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel and support the channel, plus access exclusive content by joining as a member below. Let's start with the first step. Evaluating your playlist. The biggest game changer in my life and really clearing the energy around me was when I took a step back to clear out my playlist. Music is the soundtrack of our lives. And I don't know about you, but I can admit that I have indeed been influenced by the media I consume. It shapes the way I see the world And I've had to become militant about monitoring what I allow into my mind. So step one is going through and cleaning stuff up. Take a close look at your playlist. Be critical and honest with yourself about the content of each song. Ask yourself questions like, what messages are being conveyed? What themes are being presented to you? And most importantly, do the values being promoted align with your own personal beliefs and values as a Christian? If they don't, toss it. Next, get yourself familiar with Christian-themed music. I've got to admit, I've had a bias about Christian music for a long time. In fact, like many, I had a view that anything that was religious in nature when it came to the arts were far inferior to secular counterparts. I mean, we've all seen cheesy productions like Left Behind. I thought that Christian music couldn't be far off from that. Cheesy, boring, and far less talented. Well, except for gospel, because child, them folks could blow. But boy, was I wrong. There are some amazingly talented artists out there. Grammy award-winning talent. Crossover talent from secular to Christian. The musical selection out there today is absolutely mind-blowing. Christian music covers all genres. And trust me, you'll have no need to look back. Remember what happened to Lot's wife? And we can't have this conversation without considering discernment. In this case, discernment is all about using your judgment and wisdom to make informed choices about what you listen to. Look, the biggest thing I've had to come to terms with in my spiritual journey is the fact that my taste had changed. What I can actually tolerate to consume within entertainment and media has shifted greatly, particularly when looked through the lens of Christ. You ever find yourself innocently bouncing to an old song you once liked only to realize the lyrics are now a big turnoff? Look, that's okay. In fact, I encourage you to take the time to listen to the lyrics of all the stuff you tend to listen to mindlessly and evaluate if it aligns with your values and beliefs as a Christian. If not, perhaps it's time to set those tunes aside and replace them with something more uplifting while still being entertaining. Now, you might be wondering at this point, does this mean that you're doomed to a life of removing everything you once enjoyed, including some of your favorite artists? To that, I say not necessarily. Look, we don't want to get to a point where we see everything as inherently evil and take the joy out of living life. But what I can say is that the stuff we just discussed in this video will give you the tools you need to filter accordingly. And if you do choose to indulge in certain artists, you can do so with an air of caution and know when to tune it out for your own continued path to spiritual enlightenment. You know what though? There's something else that really evolved for me when I started to truly embrace Christ in my life. And that's my approach to fitness. What does it mean to worship God with your whole body, as instructed several times throughout the Bible? Well, come and join me in this next video to go ahead and find out. I'll see you over there.